I see. So the first approach is branded and unbranded terms in terms of what kind of share of the impressions you're getting. So I'm assuming that on the branded terms, you want a high impression share, right?
And you
So,
should have a high impression share
and what
immediately.
does that high number look like?
So ideally, we would want our impression share on branded terms to hover north of 70 or 75% all the time.
Okay. So that means that people put your brand name in the search box, searched whatever the product name may be after that. So for example, XYZ water filters. Then you'll come right up and you want people to see. In other words, you don't want other sellers to appear more than you. So you want 70% of the appearance to be with your listing. So that's the first one. How about on the unbranded terms?
So unbranded's tricky, right? And this depends on what the size of the term, competitiveness of the term, et cetera. And so we take a relevancy first approach and say we may not want to go after the largest, most generic terms, right? We want to go for the terms that are most relevant. And so when we talk about relevancy, we're talking about what is the average order value on those terms, right? How related are they to our product? How close are we in average sales price? And we'll go after a subset of terms to ensure that, to your point, our click-through rate remains high on those generic terms.
Okay. So again, it's important to this conversation, of course, for the listeners' benefit. Where are you getting that data?
So we're pulling that data. We do a combination of searches, but a lot of it comes from various tools, Helium 10, ZonGuru, Jungle Scout, and then we're also pulling from brand analytics, a lot of data from brand analytics.
Okay, because to really know where your sales are coming from on a particular keyword and what your click-through rate and what your brand impression, as far as I know, there's only one place to go, and not Helium 10 or Jungle Scout. They try very hard, but they need
Yeah.
to. This is called the search query performance, right? So you are pulling from search query performance because until that was released, this data was not
You
available.
couldn't. And you
Yeah.
can also, when you look at search query performance and your search term impression share report from the advertising reports, if you put those together and run a report on top, that's where you can get a lot of really valuable data.
Okay. So this is exactly where I wanted to